We do have to update you on Ryan Adams and what's going on with him. A lot of developments over the last 24 hours, including an open FBI investigation into his messages, specifically with the young girl that was involved in that New York Times story. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go to WEHM.com under the on-air tab, click on Anthony. You'll see the morning show vlog, our last vlog. It goes super in-depth into the whole entire thing. I can't really recap it for you because there's a lot to unpack right now. But this all started yesterday with the news coming down, sort of trickling down from Universal Music Group, that they were canceling his first release of 2019, Big Colors. A lot of promo behind it. You could go back to the morning show, the Anthony vlog, and see we were pumping it up big time. That's when we discovered that Ryan had blocked us on Twitter. It wasn't until yesterday that I realized that Ryan had unblocked me on Twitter. And then I realized that Ryan exclusively runs his Twitter. So I don't know why the block and the unblock. I did find out a couple people did write me, and thank you for those of you who did, that this was a classic Ryan Adams move, that he would block people in his life and then unblock them for random reasons. I have no interaction with Ryan Adams. I don't know if he listened to us at some point while he was out in the Hamptons, or I'm not really sure how it all came about, because there's literally almost no trail online between me and him. You know, there's nothing. We went back and searched. There is not a bad negative thing we've said online. I did talk a bunch about, Mandy Moore moving on with Taylor Goldsmith, and there was a couple of days of that stuff, so I think he may have come across. I don't know. But anyway, the point is, peculiar behavior is what that says to me. We were, again, big fan, plugging the new album. We're supposed to get 3 this year. I would assume we get none because of what Universal Music Group has done here. They have canceled the release. According to sources close to the relationship, this is a variety piece. Universal Music Group, who now Adams has his own label, but Universal Music Group really distributes it. A lot of the times, there's 4,000 million labels. Really, there's 3, because Universal, Sony, and I forget what the other one is. They're the ones who have all the distribution and all the channels and everything else. All these other labels, like Ryan's label, or artists have their own labels, and there's all these. That's really all just signing artists, cultivating, producing albums. All the other sort of business stuff, getting it out to people, getting it on the streaming services, all that. There's really 3 labels that do all that, and they own all these other labels are subsidiaries of them. So he does technically have his own label. I think, when I say we're not going to get any albums, he could, if he really wanted to, put it out. He's got his own website, right? He can get it onto Spotify or Apple Music if they were to take it. He can put it out if he really wants to, but it's not going to go out in the traditional sense, physical copies and everything else, because UMG has taken down all the web pages that have anything to do with it. The big retailers, your Targets, your Walmarts, your Best Buys that still sell physical things, they've all been notified that it's not coming. Don't count on it. And that's the end of it. So we're not going to see that Big Colors release. And a lot of the fans that kind of reached out to me were like, what do you think, Ant? Like, are they going to cancel his release? Are they going to cancel his tour? I think this release is first. I think the tour is next. I mean, he could still go on it, but to me, I see this as being one day in the series of 10 days where everybody sort of just completely washes their hands of Ryan Adams. Case in point, to go along with the canceled record release, a bunch of music companies that produce equipment, they've also pulled away from Ryan Adams. An amplifier company named Benson, they pulled away from Adams. Let's see here. Christopher Benson said in a statement, "We have decided to suspend our relationship with Mr. Adams at this moment and will no longer move forward with the development of the Ryan Adams signature model. We have no further comment at this time." The Ryan Adams Benson amplifier was announced at the NAMM convention back in February of 2018. Nobody really knows how far along they got in the development, but they're completely putting this on hold right now. So we'll see. Two other Adams signature products were already available in stores, but are being withdrawn from further sales, according to statements from the companies that worked with Adams on them. DEFCON 4, let me see here, released a statement from Colt Westbrook, the president of Walrus Audio, on Instagram, referring to the Ryan Adams pedal, the DEFCON 4, saying, quote, in light of the recent news and allegations, we have discontinued the DEFCON 4 and are not selling any more direct or wholesale. This is our reactive plan. As this fresh news for us in the last 24 hours, we will come forward with a proactive plan to help bring power to people combating abuse as we figure out the best way to do so. John Scott, the president of JHS Pedals, which had also developed a product with Adams, issued a similar statement saying, quote, because of my deep concern over the situation, I am ceasing all collaboration with Ryan and have discontinued the VCR Ryan Adams signature pedal. We have a remaining stock of VCR pedals and are making future plans to fully rebrand and sell this inventory, with a portion of the sale going towards the fight against sexual abuse and misconduct. Let's get over to the FBI portion of this story. New York Times reporting that the FBI's New York office is looking into a criminal investigation. Agents on the Crimes Against Children Squad will seek out the woman and attempt to read her text. After assessing whether the case has merit, they'll proceed accordingly. The Times reported that the case could depend on whether Adams believed she was of legal age when he was sending her explicit text messages. Ava occasionally lied about her age. An attorney for Ava, now 20, did not comment to the paper since her family is deciding what it wants to pursue. Again, Adams maintains his innocence following the publication of the original story. He says, and I quote, the picture that this article paints is upsettingly inaccurate. Some of its details are misrepresented. Some are exaggerated. Some are outright false. I would never have inappropriate interactions with someone I thought was underage, period. I mean, it sounds like the FBI investigation that's going to take place is going to surround around this Ava girl as what Mandy Moore and Phoebe Bridges are saying that he did. There's nothing really criminal there. It's just being a really crummy person. But with an underage girl, that's a completely different story. I mean, for the most part, what I got from people yesterday, which I entirely agree with, is, he's a 40-year-old guy. Like, you shouldn't even be in that scenario where it's too close. If you're like, I don't know, is she underage? Already in wrong territory. You are already in wrong territory. But whether or not it was illegal, that's a lot of lawyer talk. That's a lot of interpretation of laws. They're different in New York and Ohio, where she lives, New York allegedly where he was. I don't know if this changes if he was in California at the time. And, I don't even know what all the legalities of that are. But I'm sure the FBI is going to roll through all this stuff and see what's what. Earlier on Thursday, we told you it was 7 women who had come out and spoken against Ryan Adams. Earlier on Thursday, yesterday, Jack White's ex-wife, Karen Elson, shared that she too had a, quote, traumatizing experience with Adams via Instagram. She says, quote, while I'm not quite brave enough yet to speak about my specifics, I'm encouraged that many women have bonded and helped each other heal. This is a power of sisterhood, and I'm very grateful for these women. So again, I don't know what exactly her thing was, but she did in an Instagram post release the following. I also had a traumatizing experience with Ryan Adams. While I'm not quite brave enough yet to speak about my specifics, I'm encouraged that many women have bonded and helped each other heal. This is the power of sisterhood, and I'm very grateful for these women. I hope all those speaking out are given the grace and dignity they deserve. The trauma that lingers is often a very powerful silencer of women, as is the business that enables these men to thrive without ever facing consequences. #MeToo, #Time's Up. So that was her statement from Karen Elson on Instagram. I don't know. Again, this is kind of like Tuesday night this came out, so Wednesday was a day of reaction. Thursday now, FBI investigation, album canceled. Like today, who knows what's to come? I can't imagine it being good. If you told me that Ryan Adams' tour was still on schedule next week, I would be shocked. Because I don't know how a business can be associated with this. This is not the time. This is the topic of the day. You know, the Me Too movement is still the big hot button issue in our culture right now. So standing behind somebody like that is crazy. You know, it's crazy for any business to do it. And you know what the weird thing is? Like I'm on a bunch of Ryan Adams fan boards, so I'm seeing what people are saying. I'm seeing what you are sending to me in direct messages and video comments and everything else. Like, you get into this scenario. It's the same thing with Boyd Tinsley and Dave Matthews. Like, you don't know. Like, it's okay to not know how to react. You know, people are like, are you still a fan? Are you still going to buy his music? Are you still going out on tour? Some people are like, yes. Some people are like, no. Some people are like, I don't know. And I think it's perfectly okay to feel that way. Like, who knows really what to think and feel at this point? It's still all very new. So if you're in that, like, I don't know what to do phase, like, samesies. I'm here with you. It's weird. It's confusing, you know. I don't know. I haven't listened to any Ryan Adams music since this came up. I don't know if I ever will yet. Not saying no, not saying yes. It's just, it's all coming out now. We're all processing it now. So it's okay to kind of be in this, like, weird limbo-y state. I think most of us are. That's the latest on Ryan Adams. Anything else happens, we'll be sure to let you know. Morning show vlog on the air here, wehm.com. We also included this in the podcast yesterday. For those of you that prefer audio listening over watching a video, it's on the Morning Show with Anthony podcast. Again, that's home to wehm.com, but you can get on Google Podcasts and Apple Podcasts and everywhere podcasts are available.